Howdy! Turns out the same video I had watched in the last video was made in 2022. It's been a year, so I think it's best if I redo it with even worse weapons. Since then, a lot of weapons have been removed or buffed, so it seems that my videos are doing something. Anyways, because of this, the list has changed quite a bit, and I thought it would be a nice little tradition that I can start where I just remake this video every year. Well, without further ado, let's hop right into number 5. Number 5 brings us the Noisy Cricket. Honestly, a lot of the weapons in TC2 aren't even that bad anymore. It was really difficult for me to actually make this list, which is a good thing. However, good can't really be used to describe the Noisy Cricket. The problem with it is that it just kinda does nothing. The whole gimmick is that it gives metal on damage, but since there's always a metal pack like a couple of feet away, it really does nothing for you. Especially since it only has 6 bullets in the chamber. It will probably let you die when you need it the most. Besides that though, it's not a direct downgrade, it's just kind of meh. I still wouldn't use it though. Next on our list is the Icicle. The Icicle simply just has bad stats. You lose 20 of your health for 50% damage resistance against fire. Thing is, this only applies to afterburn, not actual fire damage. You die just as fast, if not faster, with Icicle by an arsonist. The downside of this weapon is really overkill for a really okay upside. Yes, you're gonna be able to live a rocket with like 5 HP, but you're still gonna die really fast. Before, the Icicle was really good melee for gun agents because it supported the use of the gun. It was like a support weapon, more of damage. I wish it was like that again, considering the present Icicle just kinda leaves you really fragile against a class that can just switch to shotgun or melee. Gutbuster takes it in at 3 on this list. Now, the Gutbuster has a very simple stat: mini crits against targets of your sentry and does mini crits when it crits. Oh, and also 33% damage vulnerability on buildings? This stat alone completely makes it unviable for defensive gameplay. Now, you may be saying, well then it must be good in offensive gameplay. Well, it turns out it really does nothing. There are rarely any times where I have actually used the mini crit from the Gutbuster. It really does nothing since if you were running stock, anybody who walks in your sentry was probably gonna die anyway. You'd be better off using literally any other primary other than the Gutbuster. It might just be a direct downgrade from stock. That's how bad it is. At second place we have the Slow Burn. The Slow Burn, just like the Gutbuster, is kind of a direct downgrade. Its main gimmick being that it makes sentries more vulnerable while sapped and does less damage itself. This would be great if there were, any sort of coordination in TC2 pubs. And I think you all know how pubs go. But because there is no coordination, this kind of just ends up being a direct downgrade. And I know, with the building vulnerability, you can still shoot the buildings down faster. If you wanted to do that, you could go Annihilator. And in most games, you probably are not going to be able to use this when a mechanic is usually defending it. And if a mechanic isn't defending it, you'd be better off just sapping it and running away instead of taking the time to shoot it down. So, it's pretty bad, but not the worst. Obviously, just like last year, we have honorable mentions, those being the Interceptor, because it's not horrible, but it's very niche, and the crits are really buggy for some reason. The Block 18, because even though it's not stellar or anything, it can still shred in a gun agent playstyle. And finally, the Blood Bracer, because yes, I did bring it up in the last video, but it's still kind of underwhelming, and mostly because shield bashes are bugged, so you can't even get bleed damage. And that's it for our honorable mentions. Two years in a row, we have Cold Shoulder undefeated. Now, don't get me wrong, Cold Shoulder is bad, but it has changed since last year. It lost the damage penalty, so now it does full damage just as stock. If that wasn't good enough, the Scream Blinding actually works. Look at that. Who would have thought that weapons would be changed for the better if enough people complained about them? Obviously, it's still number 1 on this list, so what's wrong? Well, the Cold Shoulder is horrendous. It's kind of just like stock, but with a 20% slower deploy speed now. So it ends up still being a downgrade, just, you know, less of one. As one would know, blindness effects in games are always meh. It's the same as the ink from Mario Kart, slightly annoying but really does nothing. And I don't ever expect it to be anything. The Cold Shoulder seems like a simple meme weapon that isn't supposed to be good at all, and it's only good at messing with people and being annoying. So I'm fine with it as is, though it still is the worst weapon in TC2. That wraps things up. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much if you have watched all the way through. If you have any ideas for any future videos, please let me know. I would love to see what you would all like me to do. Anyways, it's about time I leave now, so I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.